Hi folks, how you all doing? Lawrence here. Boom, from LAWRENCEcanDRAW. And today I want to talk to you about this. Apple. Right, so on this side of me I have this article here from The Verge. But before we go ahead and look at that, I just want to ask you to share this video. It would mean so much if you do. Let's raise this subscriber count. Currently standing on 12,000, but it would mean so much to me if you could help me knock that number out of the park. Really, if I can knock that number up, then I can get more things to review. That means I can, show you some bigger stuff, maybe run some competitions and giveaways and show you the love that you show to me every day. Been doing daily videos now for a little while, a couple of weeks, and yeah, really mean a lot if I can give back to you what you give to me. Thank you very much. And as always, I am doing questions and answers, so if you ask me a question, maybe I can turn that question into a video answer for you. Make sure to subscribe, hit notification bell, so if you ask me a question, then you get to see when I turn that into a video. Cool. Like I say, remember to share this video straight away, right now. All you have to do is below that video there'll be a little share button. That'll mean a lot to me. Thank you very much. Right, so getting into this video, into this article from The Verge. So, Apple releases all new 16-inch MacBook Pro 32-inch 6K monitor this year, says report. Well, it's not so much a report, but yeah. Okay, if you ask me, this article is focusing on the wrong thing. What they haven't noticed is, also this report also mentions a Mac Pro, 16-inch MacBook Pro as well. 16-inch. Does anybody else remember the days when Apple used to do 17-inch MacBook Pros? I used to have a 17-inch one. This is only the 15-inch. I can't remember what year this is. This is like 2013, 14. I can't remember. It's lovely. It's got a dent in it from where I dropped it. This is the last one with the black keys. Still keep this knocking around. Still a good machine. It's lost 3 of its feet. It has 1 foot left. How sad is that? Don't worry about it. I've got an idea. But yes. To be perfectly honest, though, they focused primarily in this article on the 32-inch 6K monitor, which strikes me as a bit weird because to me that's not the exciting thing. I think that's the most generic, eye-catching thing, though, here in this article. And it's The Verge, and The Verge tend to go for the more generic thing. The most, kind of, it's like going for fish. You don't go for the tastiest fish. You go for the biggest number of fish. Do you know what I mean? And that's what The Verge tend to do. They use the most clickbaity titles, the ones that will have the most hashtags in and things like that. I'm doing a few videos at the moment about the Lenovo Yoga A940 because that's a really exciting piece of tech for artists. But what do they put in their title? They put the Surface Studio. Why? Because the Surface Studio 2 is hot right now. So that's what they put in their title. Okay. So looking down this article, the thing that I'm excited about is this paragraph here, which is about the new upcoming Mac Pro. And they give it one little paragraph right at the end, even though I think to professional artists out there like us, this is the most exciting thing. This is a device that lovingly got called the Mac Bin Pro. When I was younger, 20 years ago, I was kind of a junior in the ad world. I remember when the G5 came out. That was the Mac Pro of the time. That thing, how do I say this? It went like, the polite way of saying it is like poo off a stick. It was the fastest Mac around. And if you worked in the creative industry, you had a Mac. Creatives used Macs. the Office people used PCs. That's the way it was back then. Adobe used to work closely with Apple. So yeah, creatives used Macs. The G5s came out. They were the sleekest, most cool looking things in that shiny aluminium. All the Apples before that were those funky looking kind of see-through, bright colourful things, and they had been for a few years. So when the shiny titanium cool looking Apple Pros came out, it was like, oh, they look so awesome. And I was the first person in my studio to get one, and I was like one of the more junior people. And I had some respect around the studio too, because I was good at my job. But it earned me actually a bit of hate to be given one of these. And the only reason I was given this thing was the Mac that I had was a piece of garbage. It was on its last legs. So I got this thing not because anybody liked me, but because I squarely needed this thing. So yeah, I actually got some real dirty looks and a bit of hate down the pub for this. But at the time this thing cost like $4,000, maybe more, and today's money that's like 6.5, maybe more than that. So really expensive, but it was the fastest thing ever. Now you cannot give those old machines away. I literally saw one in a skip and it made me upset. I have seen videos on YouTube of people blowing these up by putting car airbags inside them. This is the processor from inside of one. There is 2 of these inside one G5. That's the processor. There in the center. And that's the heatsink. See? G5. I think actually it was the G4. Was it the G4 or the G5? This actually might be the 2nd gen one. But yeah, look at that. Vacuum sealed. How cool is that? That is very cool. There was 2 of those inside. I wish I'd have kept the other one. Had them as bookends. I actually just use that as a weight when I need something heavy to use, and it is heavy. But the latest Mac Pro has not been updated since 2013. But in this article, really doesn't get any kudos from The Verge. Instead, they're focusing on a display. I agree, a 32-inch 6K display is kind of cool. For creatives though, like you and me, is it cool enough? You know, there are a lot of very cool displays out there. I mean, you could have a Wacom Cintiq Pro 32 and that's got pen and touch. Apple, would that be a touch-enabled screen? I doubt it. Apple screens rarely are touch-enabled. You know, it's fine if you're using a tablet, they touch-enable those and pen-enable those, but anything else, I just don't know. Obviously, the MacBook Pros, yeah, not pen and touch enabled either. So, very upset. I will say as well, the MacBook Pro will probably have that nasty looking touch bar on. Let me know in the comments below whether you like the touch bar. It was actually the thing that made me laugh my ass off at Apple and finally leave them. I shoved my iPhone in a drawer, gave my iPad to my little boy, and yeah, swap that thing out for Windows. So yeah, anyway, this Verge article, while interesting, I followed it through to where they got the information from, which was Mac Rumors, which is a great website. If you're a Mac user, then you probably know about this. If you're not, then you should go and look it up, because even if you're just a Windows user, have a look. I'm not trying to get you over to the dark side by any means, but there is some really handy, useful information on this website. It's just great to be informed about both sides of the argument. You know, I was an Apple user for 20 years, and even though I'm a Windows guy now, I was a Windows guy originally, and then I went over to Apple, and then I came back. You know, I used to build my own PCs, but wow, it just got weird when I was, 20 years ago in the late 90s, thinking about water cooling systems. Oh, I got out then. And yeah, it was nice for a while not having to build my own systems and just going, I'll have that Mac. Click, upgrade, 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 buy. And then it just arrives at your door. There's something magical about that. But now, being a Windows guy again, Windows is great. Windows is, kind of how Apple should be now. But I am thinking about building my own PC again. Getting back into the habit. But this is what happens when you get into vaping. So, looking at Mac Rumors, this has a lot more information. I actually found the actual article where they got their information from, which was this, and this has the, it's actually a very short article. I won't read too much out from that, but you can find, if you go to macrumors.com/roundup/Mac-Pro, yeah, you can find all the information out on the Mac Pro, and this page actually updates, so if you're watching this video 6 months later, then this page is still relevant and it will be updated with all the latest info. At the moment though, it just says Apple will be considering previewing the new Mac Pro at the World Developers Conference set to take place on June 3rd to June 7th. So yeah, current date, that's when we should hear something about a new Mac Pro. Like I said, this hasn't been updated since 2013. That's a long time. It's a long time. And the Mac Bin Pro, as it's been called, I actually have kind of an affectionate place in my heart. I mean, look at that little black kind of toilet roll looking design there. I actually like that. I thought the design of that was really nice. I know a lot of people made jokes about that, but I like the design there. If we go to the bottom, yeah, you can see that design again there. I thought it was simplistic and fairly beautiful. And when you see the internals on that, it's nice. I like this. The design of it makes sense. But what is nice about this is if once you take this sheath off, then you can actually get to everything inside. I'm not sure how easy it is to take components out, but from what I understand, it actually was easy to take components out. You could replace the SSD yourself, and you could access the RAM yourself. It might have been a bit fiddly, but I think you could do that. Especially if you were a bit techie, you could do that. So what is, let me get to the point now, what is the new 2000, if this rumour is to be believed, and it is going to come out this year, or at least going to be, I think it's going to be announced this year, but will be out in 2020. So what is the new Mac Pro going to be? Well, if rumours to be believed, what we're going to get is a stackable system that is upgradable, so you will be able to buy different sections and arrange them however you'd like. So you buy the bits you need. Imagine a lot of different what look like Mac Minis, and you buy the sections of it you need depending on what kind of creative you are. So if you focus more on video, or you focus more on illustration, or you focus more on audio, then you buy the sections you need, and they each have little connectors on them, top and bottom, and then you just stack them, and that creates the perfect system for you. Sounds good in theory, and you can always come back and buy more, or when that component goes out of date or a newer one comes out, you can replace them. You know, say if you buy 32 gigs of RAM, but then a newer one comes out with 64 gigs of RAM, or you just decide you want more and want to upgrade, you can do that. Or a better video card comes out, you can get rid of your old video card and get a new video card. That sounds good, but it means you'll always have to buy the Apple one. You can't fit your own graphics card in there. Like this current one that's right here, you know, if we look at this here, you could take the sheath off and put your own SSD in, or stick your own RAM in there. But with the new system, if I got this little stackable thing and put the RAM stack in there, so I had a 32 gig of RAM stack, I'd take that out and put the 64 gig of RAM stack in there, if that's how it's working, and that's just me guessing from what I've read in the articles. Yes, but I can only do this with the things that I bought from Apple. See? But with the old system, I could buy RAM from anywhere and slot that in. So they're making sure that you only buy Apple. It's very clever. I see how they've done it and why they've done it. It's like, one of the things that made me get rid of my iPhone was the fact that they bought out a phone that can shoot 4K, but that doesn't have an SD card. So it means that if you go on holiday or you go abroad on a business trip, you can't connect to the cloud sometimes. So it means if you shoot loads of video, well, it's no good, because you can't store all that video. So you're severely limited. It's as if, imagine then Apple saying, well, we'll give you an SD card, but it'll be a special SD card that's shaped in a certain way that you can only buy Apple SD cards, like a special Apple card, memory card. It's almost like that, and I'm surprised they never did that. I'm surprised they never thought of that. Motorbike in the background, don't know if you can hear that. But yeah, I hope Apple didn't hear that idea I just said, otherwise you can blame me for an Apple memory card in the future. Ah dear. So yeah, what do you think of the idea of a stackable Mac Pro? The idea of a modular system. It would be nice to see the Mac Bin Pro get an update. You know, the idea that it might actually replace the iMac. It might just replace everything that we've currently got, because they'll be selling a separate monitor. So you might not get the all-in-one anymore either. They might just sell a separate monitor with separate stackable pieces, and you just put them all together. Be interesting to see. I do like the idea of it. It just depends on how they do it. Their prices have gotten a bit crazy, and it's one thing people have said. I don't think their prices will go down. I do think the service they offer is good. The service has always been good, and it's something I've never complained about. They are doing a credit card with Goldman Sachs. I've been known to call them a phone company, because they've put a lot of effort into focusing on their mobile phones and their mobile phone accessories like the watch. But it's clear now that with things like their new credit cards, and I've seen some stuff on the car that I thought was cool. So yeah, maybe with the new Mac Pro, if they do this year, then I will be very, very kind to Apple. I'm thinking about getting the iPad Pro. I've always put this off because I've never been happy with the idea that there's only one or two applications I like for artists. I've never been happy with the fact that you can't use full applications on the iPad Pro. But the apps, I see there's been a big difference between apps and applications. You know, full-blown applications. I use the words differently, app and applications. An app is something you get on a phone. An application is something like Photoshop or Painter and so on and so forth. So, yeah, the iPhone uses apps, the iPad uses apps, but your desktop uses an application. The apps are getting better on the iPad Pro. So I'm considering getting one. I think we'll wait and see, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it if I do. If I do, I'll put out a load of content on that. You know, we'll wait and see. Let me know what you think in the comments below about that, about the Mac Pro, about their monitor. What do you think of that? Would you like a 32-inch 6K monitor? Does the difference between 4K and 6K mean a lot to you? What do you think about the 16-inch MacBook Pro? Would you like a 16-inch, a 15-inch, or a 17-inch? What does that extra inch here and there mean to you? I've got a video on measuring the exact screen size and how to do that, so you can see screen sizes in real life. You know, so maybe when you're purchasing your next screen or drawing tablet, you know, you can see that real representation of the screen size in front of you. Because a lot of people ask me, you know, should I get a 16-inch or should I get a 13-inch? And if you watch my video on how to see a screen size, then you know you'll be able to see that in real life, and you'll be like, oh, that's how big a 13-inch is, or 16-inch, and you can see it and make that judgment call, and that really helps. Like I say, remember to share this video. That would be a massive help if you can. I know this has been a long video. Covered a couple of different Mac topics here. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your help. Remember to hit like and subscribe and that notification bell. I'm asking a lot. I know I am. But you're my friends. You're stuck with me. You must be. Right. Have a great day. Keep being creative. I'll see you later. I gotta put this back. I'm gonna do some workout. I missed it. Yeah. Which would you want? The G5 or that? Hold it upside down. It's weird. There you go. I'd probably trade these in and get, you know, something for just the weight of the metal. It's probably all it's worth now. Right, have a great day. I'm going to see what I can get. Maybe spray it gold and take it into cash converters.